Good morning, friends. It is an absolutely beautiful morning. It's not even 7 AM, but I'm down here on the allotment because I just couldn't resist getting out of bed and coming down and taking a look at everything. Well, it's still quiet in the morning and peaceful, and you don't have a lot of noise except for the birds, sound of distant planes, but I can deal with that. And that's really it. So let's have a look. What's changed? What's new? Well, to start with, my sage has flowered. Look at the beautiful colours on that, purple. So I obviously need to learn more about sage. Perhaps it's biennial because I had a lot of it last year and none of it flowered at all. I thought it was just an annual plant or maybe a perennial one, but maybe it's more complex than that. Sunflower doing pretty well, and there's another one over here near the lavender. It's also coming into its own. It's a good 1.5 foot tall now. My dragon's blood sedum, I've taken a few cuttings of that. There's one, there's another one. It's the original plant down here. Lovely little ground cover plant, that one. So I'm propagating it, seeing if I can spread it out some more. Mint is just taking off. I'm constantly taking cuttings of this and taking them in and giving them to people at work and so on. Here's my collection of cuttings at the moment. I'm really happy today because I'm going into work. It's the same organisation that I work for, but in a different capacity. I'm going to go to their cafe and help build a living wall. We're going to make a herb garden wall outside. It's a cafe for health and social care support service users, so people with learning disabilities, mental health needs, that sort of thing. And they have various activities going on, so I'm trying to get I'm involved with a project that's getting a gardening group and allotment project going, and it's the first session this morning, so I'm going to take some of these cuttings there with me and we're going to start off the living wall. That's very exciting. Thyme is flowering. Spinach. I took quite a few cuttings of spinach and I've made some fermented spinach leaves in the spirit of fermentation. Because I was also fermenting wild garlic the other week. Please have a look at the post on my blog about that. I'll link to those below. Also this stuff, whose name I keep forgetting to pronounce correctly, Aguja, something like that. It just spreads all over the place, which is great. Another good ground cover. I've taken plenty of cuttings of this as well, to pass on and to spread out around the allotment. And here, this is my triangle leaf plant. I will look up the name for it, and I have posted on my blog about this before, but there it is. It's just looking, look at those leaves, aren't they fascinating? It's looking good. So this is another one I've grown from a cutting, and I hope to plant this out around this area sometime soon, just to add to the general colourful and exotic and unusual looking plants I like to grow here in the inedible bed, as I call it. But also in the inedible bed I grow things that are edible. So here's my garlic, which is getting on. Some of it started to bolt, look, do that thing where it sends out this big thick shoot with a little bulb on the end of it, which is normally a sign that it's nearly ready to take out of the ground. So I cut those off where they were growing, and that should be ready soon. As leaves are just starting to turn a bit yellow there on the tips, so it'll be coming out of the ground in a few weeks. And I have some nice fresh garlic. Lavender's ready to flower. Comfrey. I love my comfrey plant. The size of that in just 3 months. It started from a tiny little cutting and now it's that. Fantastic. Some cress here. Grab a quick snack. Yum, yum, yum. Spicy. Lupins. Sage. That one isn't flowering. Oh yeah, it is. Just there, look. First rose of the year. The onions are also nearly ready, as you can see. And a lot of these started to bolt, so again, as with the garlic, they are nearly ready, but you don't really want onions to bolt, apparently. Because it means I'll put less energy into producing the bulbs, so I'll see what happens with these when I pull these out of the ground. But in any case, oh look, here, whoa. Here are my broccoli. These are purple sprouting broccoli seedlings that I'm going to put in here as soon as the onions are out of the way and grow those over winter into next spring. There's more spinach among the peas and the Jerusalem artichokes. Bit of borage there. These are my squash and my borlotti beans. And whatever all this is, which is just growing all over the place now. So I need to weed and get some of this out of the way. But once the squash plants have grown, they'll be providing plenty of ground cover anyway, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Strawberries. Looking nice and big. That one's sending out a runner. And they've been flowering, and some of them I think we'll be getting some fruit on, which is just magnificent. Over here, the cauliflower. I think I've probably planted these a bit too close together, so I may take one or two of those and move them over into the onion bed when it becomes the broccoli bed. More spinach. This is broccoli. This is doing very well. Potatoes, and of course the potato tower. There's 3 layers on that now, and as you can see I've got room for at least 3 more, probably more like 5 or 6, but I don't know if it's too late to add any more now. We're into June, but maybe a few more, we'll see. I need to get some more compost and some more straw before I do that. I've taken a few comfrey leaves and just thrown them in there because I've been reading how good it is for vegetables, so I just let those compost and mix in. I don't really know what I'm doing with comfrey, but from all I've read about it, I'm sure it'll be positive in some way. Black currants, fruiting. It's all nice. There's another sunflower. My horseradish. That's kind of it for now. Let's just enjoy it for a few minutes. Peace and love.